Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us here for the third annual Financing Sustainable Cities Forum. It's my very great pleasure to welcome you all to this important event on behalf of C40 cities. And like you, I look forward to hearing from a very impressive lineup of speakers about how cities, investors, and the private sector can come together to deliver on the Paris Agreement and build a climate-safe future. Started in 2005 by former London Mayor Ken Livingstone, C40 now has 92 members in every region of the planet, representing over 600 million people and a quarter of the world's GDP. Our network and collaborative models make a significant impact. Since 2009, C40 cities have undertaken more than 10,000 climate actions, from energy-efficient street lighting to improving mass transit systems and everything in between. Cities are leaders in real measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The Financing Sustainable Cities Initiative is a joint effort of the WRI Ross Center for Sustainable Cities and C40 Climate Leadership Group, funded by the City Foundation, whose goal is to help accelerate and scale up investment in sustainable urban solutions. Over the past 2 years alone, the FSC has engaged over 100 cities to help progress green projects to financing. And today, we'll hear about some of the innovative, sustainable projects from cities represented in the room. We'd like to thank our host, New York City, and Mayor Bill de Blasio for hosting the forum here in New York this year. We couldn't have asked for a better setting to hear about New York's leadership in sustainability and investing in green urban solutions. And these spectacular views of such an iconic city are the perfect backdrop for the conversations we'll have today. In fact, 7 World Trade Center, this building, is the first LEED Gold certified office building in New York City. And I'd like to thank Silverstein Properties for that vision and for hosting us in this beautiful space today. Thank you so much. We'd also, of course, like to thank C40's partners in the Financing Sustainable Cities Initiative, the WRI Ross Center for Sustainable Cities, and our funder, City Foundation. City Foundation's support has made this event possible, and they're a vital long-term partner to C40, and I really want to acknowledge their contribution to helping develop ways to properly finance climate-positive action. So thank you very much to WRI and the City Foundation. So we're delighted with the diverse group of stakeholders we have in the room today, financiers, cities, and climate leaders, because we all need to be focused on this critical issue. How do we unlock capital for low carbon and climate resilient infrastructure in cities? As we're going to learn from our speakers today, sometimes financing sustainable urban infrastructure is difficult. But we'll also hear many examples of how cities have begun to tackle the challenge, have developed innovative business models, and structured new transactions in the ongoing effort to finance and fund green infrastructure projects. I know from my own experience in Toronto and my experience with C40 that we need to address 4 main areas if we're going to combat dangerous global warming. Transportation, how we heat and cool buildings, how we manage our waste, and how we generate our electricity. All of these are susceptible to new and innovative financing models. In Toronto, we needed to find the means to finance a massive public transit expansion, which was completed through tricky negotiations with federal and provincial governments. We needed to find ways to help the private sector finance significant energy retrofits, particularly in existing buildings. And one of the methods we used was the Better Buildings Partnership, a partnership between the financial sector from Toronto's Bay Street, the gas company, private sector landlords, and the city. And we needed to reduce and use our waste more efficiently, which we accomplished through a program that made it free to pick up recycling and compost, but charged for waste, which I can say was not the easiest thing to bring in as mayor, but was highly effective and worked. C40, as part of the Financing Sustainable Cities Initiative, has brought you all here today to connect cities, financial institutions, the private sector, NGOs, and academia to discuss exactly these kinds of issues. We hope that by creating a shared dialogue around investing in urban projects, we can help deliver the transition to a low-carbon, resilient, and economically sustainable future for millions of urban citizens. We're excited about what you're going to achieve today and in the future, and we hope that you are too. To share that excitement, I'll remind you, please feel free to tweet and post about the event using our event hashtag #InvestInCities. The event's also being live streamed on Facebook Live, so please check out C40's Facebook page to share the stream with those who couldn't be here in the room today. To start our day, we'll hear first from our host city. The City of New York is a leader in sustainability. Its achievements have been made possible by exemplary leadership at the mayoral and civil service level. Dan Zarilli is the Senior Director of Climate Policy and Programs for the City of New York. He was appointed to the role by Mayor Bill de Blasio in 2016, and he also serves as the city's Chief Resilience Officer. As part of this role, Dan runs the Offices of Resilience and Recovery, Sustainability, and Environmental Coordination. He also leads the One NYC program for inclusive climate action. Dan was previously the city's first director of the Mayor's Office of Recovery and Resiliency, appointed to that position by Mayor Bloomberg. During Dan's tenure, and as a direct result of his leadership and the hard work of his team, the city has committed to its goal of an 80% reduction in greenhouse gases by 2050, has released its 1.5-degree warming compatible climate action plan, and announced its city's pension fund will divest from fossil fuels. True leadership by one of the world's leading cities and the financial capital of the world. It's my pleasure to welcome Dan to the stage to discuss these achievements and more, and afterwards we'll have a few minutes for a question and answer between Dan and I from the chairs. Dan, the podium is yours.